Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to week 11. So, our topic for this week is Computing Support Officer. Okay, so today we're going to start with a review. Then we're going to look at computing support officers. And then our grammar focus for this week is conditionals. Okay, so for the review activity for this week, I want you to create your own pretend web address. So pretend means not real, okay? Include a HTTP protocol prefix, www, a domain name, and a domain name extension. And I want you to comment your web address on this YouTube video. Okay, so here's an example of a web address that I have made up myself. http://www.joelsgreatlectures.edu.au. Okay, and we're going to look at your web addresses in the practicum session. All right, so here we have a computer officer. So, what kind of jobs do we have in the IT field? Applications support specialist. So that's one kind of job you could get in the IT field, one kind of career you could choose. Okay, so an applications support specialist is someone who helps users in a business or a company to use software applications. So they will help the other employees in the company, or they might even help some customers with the application software in the company. Okay, then we have a help desk operator. So a help desk operator will work in an office at the help desk, and if any customers or maybe even any employees need assistance or help, they can call or email the help desk and they will provide them with assistance. Okay, then we have IT technicians. So IT technicians will work in a company and they will help with any issues that there might be with hardware or software, okay, within the office with the computers. And then we have computer engineers. So we're going to look at computer engineers in the next slide in a bit more depth. But I want you to think about, so this question mark here, I want you to think about some other jobs in the IT field or the IT industry. And I'm going to ask you to tell me some more jobs and to describe those jobs in the practicum session. Okay. So let's have a look at computer engineers. Here is a career definition of a computer engineer. So a computer engineer, also called a software engineer, is responsible for developing, testing, and evaluating the software that make our computers work. They may help in the development of new computer games and business applications, or even in the design of entirely new operating systems. A computer engineer may also be responsible for constructing and managing an organization's computer system and supplying technical support. A computer engineer typically works in an office or laboratory environment as part of a team and enjoys a traditional work schedule. Okay. So I want you to figure out the answer to this question. And in the practicum session, I'm going to ask you the question. So if based on the text, after reading the text again, if you want to become a computer engineer, what skills or qualification do you need to have? Okay, so for the grammar today, we're looking at the three different kinds of conditionals, okay? And I've taken my information from the Frankfurt International School, and if you click on this link, you can find more information on the three conditionals. Okay, so the first kind of conditional is to express a simple statement of fact or intent. Okay, so a simple statement of fact, something that is true, or intent, something that you or someone wants to do. Okay, so the structure of this conditional is the if clause, and then it uses present simple tense, and then the main clause, which uses future tense, will. Okay, so here are some examples. If you help me, I will help you. If you want to become a computer engineer, you will need to take the computer engineering program. If you become an IT technician, you will earn a good salary. Okay, so we can say the last one is certain. If someone becomes an IT technician, they will earn a good salary. We can say that the first one is more possible than certain because there is no specified context. So there could be some situation where the speaker wants to help but cannot. So it's not certain. Okay, so in red we have the if clause, the if clauses here, and then we have the main clauses, all of which use the future tense with will. Okay, and our second kind of conditional is used to refer to a present unreal situation or a hypothetical future situation that the speaker thinks is unlikely to happen, or which could be likely to happen, but maybe not for a long time. Okay, so an unreal situation means something that hasn't happened yet. Okay, so it's possible to happen in the future. Okay, it could happen. Maybe it's unlikely to happen. Okay, or if it is likely, it's not likely to happen for quite some time. So the structure of this conditional is the if clause using past simple tense, and then the main clause which uses would. Okay, so if I went to bed earlier, I would get better sleep. If I was a help desk operator, I would be able to talk with people for most of the day and make a lot of money. Okay, if it never rained in Indonesia, I would never get wet. All right, so in red we have the if clause, and then we have the main clause which uses would. Okay, and would is expressing a future situation, a hypothetical situation. Okay, so we can say the first one might be a bit unlikely. The second one is more likely, but it would not be for some time into the future. Okay. And the third one is actually impossible. So that's just very unreal. It could never happen. All right. So, well, the third type isn't used very often. Okay, so we don't usually have an example that's impossible, but you can do it. Okay, so the third example of a conditional is to refer to the past and situations that did not happen and now they're impossible. So we have the structure of the if clause, which is in the past perfect tense. Then we have the main clause, which uses would have. Okay, so if I had known that, I would have told you. All right, so which means, but I didn't know, so I didn't tell you. Okay, if I had better antivirus software, my computer would not have gotten the Trojan horse virus, which can be expressed as, but I didn't have better antivirus software, so my computer got the Trojan horse virus. So it's something that already happened, okay? Or rather something that a situation that already happened, but the event did not happen, and now it's impossible. Okay, if I was already an IT technician, I would own a house, but I am not an IT technician, so I don't own a house. Okay, so in red, we have the if clause, and then we have the main clause using would have, which is referring to the past. Okay. The last example doesn't use have, it just says would. So yeah, sometimes you can leave the have out. Okay. Generally, you would use would have. All right, so we can also start conditionals with the main clause, not the if clause. So we can represent them the other way around. Okay, so you will need to take the computer engineering program if you want to become a computer engineer. So here we have reversed the clauses. We have the if clause last and the main clause first. I would be able to talk with people for most of the day and make a lot of money if I was a help desk operator. So again, the if clause is last and the main clause is first. I would own a house if I was already an IT technician. Okay, so we have the main clause first and the if clause is last. So we can reverse the order and that's still okay. All right, so we have the first practice exercise. I want you to put the correct form of the word in and to complete the sentences so that you have the full conditional form and the full sentence. So I'm going to ask you to share your answers in the practicum session, and maybe I will also get students to answer these questions in the practicum session. Okay, so for practice 2, I want you to complete the sentences again using the correct form of the words and having the full conditional form and the full sentence. Okay, and then practice 3, I want you to write an example of a type 1, type 2, and type 3 conditional referring to your own life. So something you will do, something you would do, and something you would have done. Okay. So next week, we're going to look at computing support. Here's our reference. So good work, everybody. You might have some questions, and I'll answer those in the practicum session. And in the practicum session, we'll go over the grammar to make it clearer for you. And we'll look at those practice questions. Okay, excellent work, everyone. I will see you on Tuesday.